One of the biggest laws stemming from the Robb Elementary School shooting is House Bill 3. HB 3 now requires at least one armed security officer at every Texas school campus during school hours. But the cost of hiring those officers has become a big hurdle for some school districts.
We talked to some experts who estimate that to put an armed police officer for every campus, it's going to be a minimum of $75,000 to $100,000 per campus.
If a school cannot afford to hire an officer, they are allowed to arm a school district employee who must undergo training to get certified for school safety. Another law going into effect involves street racing and street takeovers. We've seen them in San Antonio. House Bill 1442 will give law enforcement and prosecutors additional means to combat street races and takeovers.
Hopefully this will serve as a deterrent and keep people from making that decision to get behind the wheel and engage in this dangerous activity.
Officials will now be able to prosecute and seize vehicles after reckless driving incidents. Next is House Bill 393. It requires drunk drivers who are convicted of intoxication manslaughter to pay child support if parents of an underage child are killed in a car accident. Courts will determine the amount to be paid until that child reaches 18 years of age or graduates from high school. The next two bills involve fentanyl. House Bill 2144 designates October as Fentanyl Poisoning Awareness Month. House Bill 6 will increase the penalties for anyone who makes and sells fentanyl to a person who dies from using it.
You should never, ever take a pill that has not been prescribed for you and dispensed by a licensed practitioner.
HB 6 classifies the overdose as a poisoning and could result in murder charges. Senate Bills 12 and 15 set boundaries when it comes to gender and identity. Senate Bill 15, also known as the Save Women's Sports Act, will prohibit transgender athletes from participating in sports with competitors opposite of their biological gender, regardless of their sexual identity.
Women's sports, women's records, women's teams, women's locker rooms, all are jeopardized when biological men are allowed to compete for those titles. Senate Bill 12 restricts kids from attending drag shows and other sexually oriented performances. Doing so will result in a $10,000 fine for the person who owns the venue or business where those performances take place. House Bill 567 is known as the Creating a Respectful Open World for Natural Hair Act, or the Crown Act. HB 567 will now prohibit colleges, universities, school districts, and employers from discriminating against any protected hairstyle as part of a dress code.
For Black people, it's definitely a spiritual journey. Our hair is our strength. We're sun people. We get our energy from the sun. And when I'm talking to my clients, I'm giving them energy. Their hair is giving me energy. And it's a bond.
21 other states have also passed the Crown Act. Lastly, House Bill 1885. It will allow speed limits to change under certain road conditions. The Texas Transportation Commission will now be able to set different speed limits during bad weather, construction, or certain traffic conditions. The speed limits will be based on either an engineering or a traffic investigation. You can read all about the new laws going into effect September 1st on our website at ksat.com. I'm Myra Arthur for KSAT 12 News.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.